This is the Bar Stewards Enquiry.
Right? You're talking absolute rubbish. Absolute rubbish.
In what way?
You were an underachiever in life. I saved your bacon one time. You were gone.
You handled that well. I couldn't save you. But you did the right thing.
But that's why you don't know anything about racing, John.
I didn't say I do.
Right?
I'm saying that...
What have you contributed to racing? You're one of these take-out merchants. Take out all you can.
And a very warm welcome to the Bar Stewards Enquiry Weekend podcast. It's Super Saturday, Claxon. Absolute mega meetings this Saturday. Some people don't like it because it's just absolutely crazy. But we're here to give you our very best bets and give you our insights into the televised races this weekend. And joining me again is a very, very strong team tonight because it is Super Saturday. We've brought out the Naps table leader who was absolutely caning us this season, Andy Richmond. Welcome, Andy.
Good evening, Lee.
Yes. And also on the show, as usual, my partner in crime on the Sunday sermons, John Lang. Good evening, John.
Good evening, Lee.
And finally, and last but not least, crack flat judge, Quentin Franks. Good evening, Quentin.
Good evening, Lee.
Yes. I'll start the show off just with a brief bit of news. Bar Stewards exclusive that Zanahiyr, the third in the champion hurdle, has failed a drugs test. That's a Bar Stewards exclusive. That's not in the public domain, and that's what we aim to bring you. More on that on the Sunday sermon, so don't miss that. Right. Without further ado, because it's a busy show, chaps, we're going to get straight on with the bettings. So, Naps King, first of all, your third best, please.
Right, we're going to go all along the Watchtower at Newmarket. Poor joke, that really. But Jimi Hendrix, third. Not that I like betting at Newmarket. I try and avoid the place like the plague. Well, certainly the July course, which I think should be turned into a giant Pimm's and champagne bar and run all the races on the Rowley Mile because there ain't no racing line there. But Jimmy might do it for us. He ran very, very well when he won at Haydock against what I think was a track bias on that day, beat 9 rivals, and then ran a superb third of 30 in the Britannia behind Thesis last time out, where he snuck in at the bottom of the old weights. I don't think this is a much better race. We're short of time tonight, so I'll have a point on Jimi Hendrix at about 7-2. I think this is a lesser race, and I think he's actually quite tactically versatile as well. So hopefully, because most of the races I watched here this week seem to be won from the front, I'm hoping that Jimmy will go forward and resume the winning thread after his very good third last time out. So I'll have a point on Jimi Hendrix.
7-2 with Coates, Bet Victor, Coral, Spoil Sports, and Betway. Oh, and the magic sign that are no longer magic. Thank you, Andy, for your 1 point win selection on Jimi Hendrix. In that, John Lane.
Zarzini, 3 o'clock at Ascot. I've wanted him to take this to Ascot since he won at Musselburgh in April when 1 minute was on the outside, then he looked as though he was going inside, and then he ended up circumnavigating the field to get up, which I don't think is a bad effort at Mussey. Then Newmarket, needless to say, didn't particularly suit last time, but I get the impression that they've kept the horse for this. I think it's an ideal race for him. He's only rated 104. If he'd stuck this in the King's Stand with plenty of pace on, I'd have definitely had a spin up on him at big prices over the 5 here. So I do think he's got tremendous potential off this mark. That's a track that will suit. Laura Pearson maybe wouldn't have been my choice jockey-wise. That's why he's only the 1 point bet. But I do think there's a lot of value with 11-1.
Yeah, jockey's thin on the ground, sort of, obviously, this weekend with the amount of flat action on the Saturday. So are you win, John, definitely on this one? That's 11-1 Bet Victor?
Yeah.
1 point. You can go each way if you want. 7 pegs, Sky Bet and William Hill.
Nah, it's a bit.
Just to chip in there, Lee. Zarzini was on my shortlist for consideration as well. John's point about the Musselburgh 5 furlong where he won is very well made, because if you go back to 2020 and look at 5 furlong handicaps of between 10 and 15 runners, stalls 1 to 4 had a 1 from 72 record. So Zarzini did incredibly well there, and it was a Group 3 running last time out. I think that's a really good pick, John.
Wow, yeah, good stat, Andy. Good. So yeah, backing that up for John's pick. 1 point Zarzini, 11 to 1 Bet Victor. Brilliant. Okay, I will kick off. I'm fielding against Andy for mine. Not really against Andy, because I do like Jimi Hendrix. I thought he ran a blinder last time out at was it Britannia?
Britannia, third thesis.
Yeah. I thought it was an absolutely sterling effort, because he was a bit keen on the front end, and if he just learned to just drop it a little bit, I think there's a lot more to come from Jimi Hendrix. But this is purely on price for me, because I'm scratching my head. If you fancy Bay of Honour for the race, that's sort of 7 to 2, 4 to 1. Well, Positive Impact is 12 to 1. The Simon Christopher Jamie Spencer rides, which kind of puts you off, and you think, oh God, don't drop it out, Jamie. But they tend to go forward with this and make the running. And as we've seen with Newmarket, they tried to make the running with it at Thirsk, and Bay of Honour just picked it off at Thirsk last time. The run before at Wolverhampton wasn't bad. It might have been last time before, but it was behind Knight of Honour was second. That's now rated 91. I think there's a little bit of movement from 86. I don't think this horse is 86. I think he's a bit better than 86. So I think at the 12 to 1 with the Denise Coates firm, and they've got Bay of Honour at like 4 to 1, when there's a short head between them at Thirsk. And positive Impact was coming back after the line as well. And there's no Benoit on Bay of Honour now taking the 3-5. So I just think that was massively overpriced in the context of the race. So 1 point win for me, 12 to 1 Positive Impact with Bet365. Quentin, to finish the round off.
My third best bet, Lee, comes in the John Smith's Cup. I'm going for a horse that I think we both tipped up on the Derby podcast, Caradoc. Shaped well win this race back in 2020. Ended up not handling Epsom last time out, to be honest. Was coming topside with nearest the Stanside Rail, which weren't the place to be. You look at the Nottingham race, it's rock solid. Dubai Icons come out and won. Dubai Mirage won at, I think it was Salisbury. He won. Dark Shifts came out and then won the Hunt Cup. It's strong form. He's been dropped £2 for a run where circumstances didn't show him the best effects. Clearly goes well at York. Stack loads of pace, and I don't mind the kind of middle to low draw. Ross Coakley's on, which is booking's fine for me. 12 to 1 looks a shade over to my eye.
Been on my radar that horse all season, as you know. I've sort of mentioned it before, and nothing's gone right for him all year, or there's been some not off kind of runs. So yeah, Caradoc, an interesting pick there, Quentin. This is probably his best chance of a win this season, I think, in what he's running. I think the way the race might be run. So 12 to 1 Caradoc generally available. So Quentin, that's 1 point win for your
1 point win, please.
Yes. Never each way. No, never each way. Okay, on to my second best, and I'll kick us off for second round. This goes in the 350 at Newmarket. It is the Bunbury Cup, and I'm very keen on the Cock Watchers horse, Ross Collin, 11 to 1, available with Bet365, Bet Victor Coral, and I think this horse has got a massive chance tomorrow, simply because if you've watched the first 2 days at Newmarket, you have to be on the front end, and there's not for a Bunbury Cup. And I know, people say, well, someone else will probably go on, which they probably will, but there's not a deal of natural speed in the race. And Ross Collin, they're not daft, or the Dixons. They tend to hold them up. Like they held it up at Ascot, which kind of good tactics. Now you know for a fact they'll go back to front running, and I think this will really go close tomorrow, because it's so difficult to close unless with the sort of like the odd fatalities today, Prosser decides to double his watering. We're in the dark on that, but apart from that, I'm confident. No each ways. 2 on the nose, 11 to 1. Ross Collin for me.
On the
Okay.
subject of watering, Lee, he said he was going to stick on 4 to 5 mils before. That was what he said before racing. God knows what he's going to stick on now.
Yeah, 4 to 5 would sort of be okay, but I reckon with the temperatures, I reckon he'll be tempted to put more on, especially with the sort of warm heat in the afternoon tomorrow. I won't be surprised to see more than that. So, but anyway, Ross Collins the bet. I think he can possibly make all or go very close to making.
He's certainly right about the pace in it. There's absolutely none at all, is there?
It's weird. It's weird for such a large field, 7 furlong handicap. Very, very, very strange. Okay, Jonas Lang, coming to you for your number 2.
You make this rabbit in number 2. That I'm in the July Cup.
Yeah.
And I'm doing 2.
Split state wanker.
Yeah.
I like them. Yeah.
Exactly. The first of which is alcohol free. Right. Yeah. I thought this did well at Ascot because basically got beat 2.5 lengths racing in the soup up the middle.
Yeah.
And got a bit skewed up before the race as well. So I don't think she was entirely at her best. She can chuck in a really classy effort on occasion, this one, as she showed when she won at Ascot last year. Was it the Coronation? I think in the circumstances where the July Cup's going to pot a little bit, I think, because for some years you get really left field winners that you don't really consider, and I don't think it's always a great race to play the front end of the market. And I think at the price, I think she's tremendous value, given that she wasn't beaten far by some of the more fancied ones tomorrow. In the bet, I don't think the betting accurately reflects a chance. The other one I'm putting in with her is Twilight Jet, who had a punt on at Ascot last time, was totally flummoxed to see the price double since, like, from the horse leaving the paddock to get arriving at the start. He ran as though he hit a brick wall 2 furlongs out anyway, which wasn't surprising given the trip. And we had the trainer on Twitter on the night saying, he scored badly. Well, the betting sort of said somebody knew he was going to score badly. I thought he had the potential to win one of these going into Ascot. I have to forgive the scoping and all the rest of it and give him one more chance at this level, because, I don't think he's up to this class. I can't let him run loose at the price. So I'm quite happy to go a point on each of those 2.
Point on each could be Irish Carrot's Day, John, on Twilight Jet. 22s for Twilight Jet. That's Paddy Power, Betfair, Bet Victor, and 20 to 1 with Denise in suspenders. With alcohol free for John's for his 1 point on each. Good stuff, John. Okay, I'm coming to Quentin, coming to you for your second best.
My second best bet, Lee, it's kind of along the same lines as yours, different race, but I want a horse on the front end, and horse in question goes in the 14.05 at Newmarket, and it's Golden Spice. Felt she did one well at Leicester, clocking a fair figure, and then went to Sandringham. They tried to pull off the same tactics. Thrasher Morris was on, tried to bounce out. Makel quite simply did too much too soon. She went through the race like a well-handicapped horse and didn't get home over the mile. Back down in trip tomorrow. The race looks like there's no pace on. Buick's on top, drawn 1, which... Right, no, you'd rather be drawn low than high. Well, you'd rather be drawn middle than low than high. Yeah. But there's no pace in the race, and she's the one I want on side. The favourite, I'm kind of keen to oppose, Kidwar. She's trained by William Haggis. She's an improving filly, but time was poor at Redcar, and she beat nothing. She beat Pepsi Cat, who's been beaten since Global Context. Negua won and looked awkward at Air. Her mark looks lofty enough off of 88 on what she's done on the clock and who she's beaten. I thought Golden Spice would be more 7 to 200 to 30, and she'd a better 11 to 2.
Yeah, I thought you were easing there, 11 to 2, and of course, I think a couple of pounds better off with Truly Acclaimed for beating Truly Acclaimed on the Rowley course earlier in the season.
She did well that day to win, given the pace she set as well. It went strong up front. So
I like that one tomorrow, Quentin. I think that's a cracking bet.
So that was on my list as well. So you could start bringing the clacks and the.
Oh, hang on.
You've got to put it up, but I'd say her 7 furlong record since her racecourse debut reads 112311. So I don't think he goes too far wrong there, even if you're not betting outright for a little trade or something on that, especially if Buick gets in front and he moves over to what we think is the better part of the track.
Yeah, and only 8 runners should be able to do so. 11 to 2, Quentin, Denise Kurtz, Hills and Coral for Quentin's 2-pointer. Andy, to finish off the round, please.
Right, okie dokie. We're going to go with old Stonehands. He's still riding here. 5:15 at York. First run for Amy Murphy. Used to run for Dean Ivory. Dancing in the Woods. Really well handicapped horse. Form stacks up pretty well this year, especially the last run, which was a 4th at Haydock. Behind Silver Samurai, who went on to run well at Ascot. Music Society, who won next time out. The 8th Mitro's on Fire won next time out. Didn't run too badly this afternoon. The 10th one next time out as well. So Dancing in the Woods, who's now back down to below the last winning mark. Shaped well in first time cheap pieces last time out. Every run this year has shaped better than, absolutely better than the final finishing position, which has generally been 4th. Hopefully today, the only slight worry I've got with this one is coming off the pace at York, which isn't easy in sprints sometimes, but in a big field should get a good pace to run at. Hope the pace collapses, and let's hope that old Stonehands can do the job for Dancing in the Woods. The only price I saw was around 11 to 2 with Hills. I think that was.
No. That's got 5 to 1 with 5 to 1 with Hills now. Yes, you spotted a steamer. It seems to be getting cut a little bit.
Yeah.
So 5 to 1. Are you playing? Are you being an Adam Norman?
No, straight in. No. This is either going to win or he's going to fuck this up. So.
That's fair enough. Yeah. Good old iron hands. I'm one that likes to come from off the pace.
Yeah.
Oh, that's like putting you through Simcock hell. 5 to 1 for Andy for his 2-point win bet on Dancing in the Woods in the 5:15. Very well handicapped. Okay, we'll come on to our best bets now. Quentin, I'm going to get you to kick us off.
I'm going to kick it off with the 15:30 at York. 6 furlong. I want the Kilts horse explicit onside. There's a standout 11 to 2, but I can't claim that. It's 11 to 4, 5 to 2 generally. Improving horse, and I think he's been well placed by connections. I didn't really like him at Hamilton. He went and won a cellar at Musselburgh, picked up the Rouse cellar at York in a good time. Then they went to Kempton, very, very strong in the market against a well-regarded James Tate horse. Tried to lead and just got beaten by a better horse on the day. Given the way he's been placed, he's ended up with a mark of 78. Safe to say that's light based on what he's done on the clock already. ABC kind of punters will say, oh, well, he's already been beaten by the Fahey horse up at Hamilton. But that was when Hamilton's stand side was riding dead and Fahey's was in the middle of the course. I'm pretty sure he's improving as a horse. Physically looks like he's improving as well. I'm pretty sure he's 90. He's off 78 tomorrow. He's got York form in the bag. You've got doubts about other one. Misty Blues had the run of things at Ponty when the far rail was the place to be. The Chester form looked weak for the ones that came out of the race there. Rock Opera, JM Jungle and Sanks a Million. You got 90 horse off 78. 3 points win 11 to 4.
Good stuff. 3 points win at the 11 to 4 with Billy Hills for Quentin and Explicit. Good luck, Quentin, in that nursery at York. Okay, I'm going to come to myself. Yeah, I'll come to myself, then Andy, and then John can finish the round off. 4:25 Newmarket, the July Cup. I'm sort of in a disagreement with John. Really, I genuinely think that Perfect Power is the best horse in the race, but people say, well, yes, that's favourite, you moron. And yes, I understand that. But I think circumstances will prevail for Perfect Power, because I can see Naval Crown bolting off in front. The Australian horse for me is a million, because he's slowly away. He was very unlucky at Ascot, but you can't be slowly away. You can't do it here. No chance. There's absolutely zero chance, the Australian horse. And I think Perfect Power is perfectly drawn. He can be ridden handy for the scaffolder. Soumillon gets on so well with this horse. And I genuinely believe that this horse, he's not much the best, but he is the best. And he's a very good horse. And if he runs his race, he'll win the race. And I do think we're on the verge of now a bit of generosity at 3-1. So 3-1 for me. Perfect Power with William Hill is my best bet of Saturday. Andy Richmond, coming back to you.
Right, I'm going to be a split stake wanker here, but I came up with there's two horses I wanted to back in the John Smiths, and I do not want to back, not to put one up and not back the other one as well. So the first one is going to be Brilliant Light for side Bin Sarur. And the Godolphin boys. It looks as though, he ran a really good race to be 4th of 18 last time out. I wrote a piece on him about how well he'd run from the draw, etc., because everybody gets the draw over a mile and a half at Ascot wrong. If you think the inside draw, the low numbers are advantage, then you're certainly doing it wrong. And he ran really well from stall 4 last time out in the Duke of Edinburgh Stakes. The first 6 home were drawn 17, 10, 15, 4, which was Brilliant Light, 14 and 16. And the first 3 home, you couldn't decry their efforts, because it was Candleford, who I thought got a horrible ride today, really. Agero and Contact, who was pretty unlucky in what was a really messy race at Newmarket today, the same race that Candleford ran in. I did think that they might go with the E-ball with him, but they've dropped him back in trip here, and I certainly would upgrade the efforts for him. I just think he looks probably the right sort of type for this. And the other one is Intelligent, who is stepping up in distance from his very, very good second in the Hunt Cup last time out, when I did back him at a massive price. And despite backing the winner, it's one of those races you're pleased when you've won, and then you're sitting there thinking, why the hell didn't I do the forecast, which I never do? And the second would have won you more money. And you're sitting there having solved a difficult handicap and sitting there thinking, oh dear. But I think it's a good run. Jane Chapel-Hyam is, for me, she's really good trainer. She's another winner this afternoon. Strings running well all year. And the Intelligent is pretty well handicapped, actually. I think she's done really well with this horse. As I say, that run last time out was a very, very decent run. I'm not so sure he's the most straightforward horse, and he can be a bit slow away, but I'm hoping they go a really quick, good pace in this. And it might be one of those races where you can sort of bury him away. He ran well in a 29 runner field last time out. So I'll split me 3 points, 1.5 points on each on Intelligent and Brilliant Light. I think you can easily get 12s on Brilliant Light and about 9-1 in Intelligent. And that will be my 3 point split stake wanker in bet.
Good stuff. 9-1 Intelligent with Bet365. Only 10s Paddy Power Betfair now. So you've been trimmed there, Andy.
I've been trimmed.
Yes.
Somebody must have been looking. I've got the camera over my shoulder. Someone's been looking at my notes.
Yeah, it's like one of them like sparse kebabs spinning round, and they're just trying to get as much off as they can before they put the new one on.
I've not had a kebab for quite a while, actually.
Yeah. It's all right, kebabs. I don't mind a good kebab. Speaking of which, today, about unluckiness. I'm the unluckiest man on the planet, because I had a £400 straight forecast in Spiral to beat the winner at Newmarket today. And you just think, for fuck's sake, can we not have some, a 5? I get a 9s on shot beat or 5s on the machine, to not collect. What is fucking off?
It's almost like backing the winner in the without favourite market.
Yeah. I know. I think I got 100 to 30 for the forecast, which I thought, yeah, that's pretty fair because that'll get the easy lead, and then, lo and behold, it did, and it ended up winning. But there we go. More fool me, as people will be laughing at that. John Lang to finish the round with your max.
Yeah, well, I find myself overlapping with Andy because I'm also in the Magnet Cup.
Ooh.
And the one I'm going with is the Barons Just Fine. At first glance, didn't acquit himself with glory at Ascot. When he was back to do so, he was pretty strongly fancied that day. Considering Ryan rode exceptionally well all week, I thought he gave this an absolute stoma, to be honest. He never looked to be in a position where he was going to get a run, to me. He looked very half-assed in the straight, and then when he did finally get out, the race was over, so he just looked after the horse, which is fair enough. I've thought all season the horse has a race of this nature in him, and I think this, with plenty of pace on and a nice middling draw that gives Kingscote options, will suit him down to the ground. I'm not going all in. I'm going to each way wanker him. And I'll have as many place terms as Denise is prepared to give me.
Well, I'll tell you what I'm going to pick for you then, because this is better value, right? You can have, it's 12 to 1 5 places, fifth odds, but with Hills it's 11 to 1 7 places.
Oh, money for all.
You're snatching that. So that's it. Just fine. 1.5 each way, 11 to 1 7 places for John to finish the round off. So hope you enjoyed the opinion there in terms of our best bets. We're going to move on to the televised, other televised action to see if we can unearth some angles or gems going forward. Because of time, we're just going to cover Newmarket's 5 and 3 races elsewhere rather than the 11. It's quite difficult to fit into an hour show. So we're going to start at Newmarket in the 150 race, the Bet3. Oh no, I'm reading today's cards. I mean, can you believe one idiot, a complete idiot?
See if you pick any winners out.
I'd have a forecast in that in spiral race.
Is it absolutely disgraceful? 205 race is the first at Newmarket. It's the Bedford Lodge Hotel and Spa Fillies Handicap. Kidwar 7-4 favourite. Quentin highlighted why Kidwar was probably a poor price. I agree with him on that. And also Andy and John chimed up with Golden Spice, agreeing with it. That could be a cracking bet. I'm in agreement here, folks. There's not much really to talk about because you've already said it, that Golden Spy should literally go to the front and hopefully dominate while everything's taking pulls on a front running favouring track. So nothing really to add.
Dead eight as well. Do we wank at this or what?
Well, I mean that's it. I mean for anyone that sort of if you could have one bet tomorrow that. An each way bet Golden Spice, I think would be an absolute a wicked bet, so to speak, because you can't, if something chins it, but it's one of them, it can't be far away given that field tomorrow. Miss Caroline of Roger Varians, that takes a keen grip and they always have to settle that. There's a lot in here that'll have to be reined back. So yeah, I just Victoria Grove might go handy, but other than that, I can't see anything else. So I think that's a good start for punters. That back to Lays.
11 to 2 with Denise is an absolute standout now. If you can
as
well. Absolute standout.
Yeah, it's I can see that. I think Quentin, you said it should have been about sort of 100 to 30, something like that.
Yeah, give or take. It looks fair. No pace. Fast ground's fine. Yeah, there's nothing really not to like. It's hard to assess the Haggis horse. Could be anything, but on what she's done, she's not a 6-4-7 a football poke. To my eye,
you always have to respect the shirt. The shirt has burned me numerous times when I've looked at it and thought that's clock's a rubbish time, and then it comes out and improves £34. So we go to the 240. Andy, Jimi Hendrix, myself, just with a bit of value on Positive Impact for Chrisford and Frank. Quentin and John, anything on this that sort of like took your eye, or any negatives you could find?
Not especially. I didn't think there was plenty of pace on.
Did you? Well, Lawful Command, I think, goes forward. Brian Means.
Yeah, Positive Impact would be up there. And I think I couldn't see him dropping Yo Kingdom back so far either.
No, probably not with the Doyler on. The Doyler does ride Newmarket course very well, the July course.
Yeah.
The Doyler seems to know what's required there. He tends to go forward a lot. So yeah, you could be right on that. So that might be nice for Jimi Hendrix, just getting a tail.
Yeah, that was my feeling, really. I thought it might just drop in his lap a little bit. Yeah.
So it could be Andy again in Clover.
I was with Andy on the race as well. Jimi Hendrix, its Britannia form just looks strong race on the clock. I think the 15th has come out and won since. The Baron's horse here looks short at the top of the market. He's gone up 9 for beating Rocks Off and Sip and Smile in a forerunner Doncaster race. It seems a bit half, 7 even, I think he's gone up. Seems a bit half, he's progressing. I think Jimi Hendrix is rock solid, to be honest.
Yeah, I thought the Hannah horse was terribly handicapped off 94, especially because it had the run of the race at Doncaster as well. 7 for that. That was harsh. That was a kick in the nuts for the yogurt cannon. Though he has put Super Sumi on board. Whether that'll affect the market, I don't know. I hope it does. I hope they back that one because we'll have some pink button action tomorrow afternoon after we've let the dog in, John.
I was just going to say, let's hope we can actually hear Jimmy as well as just listen to Jimmy.
Can you hear? This is why.
That's the thing, isn't it? You know, lads like us, we can listen, but we can't hear Jimmy.
Yeah, can't hear. Yeah, Wesley Snipes that in White Men Can't Jump. Brilliant film. Yeah, you can't hear Jimmy. Yeah. I like it. Anyway, Superlative Stakes, 7 furlongs. A race I always like to try and back the winner of this. I personally had it down to a match, and it was between the Appleby horse and the Meehan horse. Isaac Shelby, very professional on debut, very impressive. Won't improve, I don't think, in terms of like mentally or fitness, because Brian Meehan does tend to get some ready, especially they bet it strong. The one that will improve a hell of a lot is Victory Dance, because they did the first 3 furlongs in one of the most pedestrian times I think I've seen in a long time. About 43.5 seconds for the first 3 furlongs in Victory Dance's race. Came back a hell of a lot quicker in under 34 seconds, Victory Dance, for the last 3 furlongs. And for a horse that you can tell that hasn't got instant acceleration, I thought that was mega impressive. I think there's so much more to come. Victory Dance is a quality horse. They sent it off 8-11, so they knew they had something good. The weak link in the race is Lion of War. Now, I know you'll say, well, that's crazy because it'll probably go from the front. It's the kilt, but I just don't think it's any good. Not in the scheme of Victory Dance and Isaac Shelby. So I'm massively against the kilt, and I'm for the other 2. Thoughts on this, chap?
I'm in your camp in terms of the kilt horse. But like it's very much, for me, I've got big notes on him, but they kind of all lead to style over substance. Like he won at Leicester, he was the right part of the track. He then went to Newcastle and galloped into the ground on a day where it was stifling hot and riding slow. Like the second in the market there was a Roger Fell horse that went to Carlisle on debut, ended up wide as the wall was on the right part of the track, and that race was dire at the end of the day. Even though Fells come on, the time was poor. I think he's clocked a figure of 80, give or take. I know Applebee's hasn't, but that was with how the race was run, how steady it was. Like you look at the swift closing sectional, 11:16, 11:04, and 11:62 for the uphill part.
Yes,
he's smart. I'm trying to get a position filled on Line of War, just a chunky lay position, and 4 to 9 the field. I'll quite happily have that on side.
No, I agree totally. Andy, John. anything to add?
I quite like the Appleby horse, and with back up and everything that's said as we're short of time. I won't be backing it, but I did think it was quite impressive on debut, looking at the times as well, and that would be the one I would go with if somebody forced me to have a bet in the race.
Yeah. John?
I also made it between Isaac Shelby and Victory Dance, and I think in situations like this, when you've got a toss of the coin situation, if you like, you know, you look at Group 1 class trainer carries all before him, or a weird little Irish fellow with his brains in his cock. Do you know how he
That's brilliantly put. But could be right. Golf Club 2019 has been terrible to us this week. He shipped off to the Understarters Orders podcast.
He shouldn't even get a mention. He's out.
Yes, he's out. But this might get him back. I'm thinking here 13-8 and 4-1, 8-11 Dutch. You could have 110-80 and then crispy shredded beef ordered from the Chinese. No, for those that like a shorty, 8-11 the Dutch. Yes, please. That's Victory Dance and Isaac Shelby. Golf Club, if you're listening, that's the Dutch that pays for the crispy.
I think you should do a pod one week with all the guests on.
Yeah, we will. We'll get them on.
Golf club on. Maybe get Hitler back or.
Yeah. Well,
Andy,
that's stretching it again.
A couple of the others on.
Golf Club won't be listening now if we're watching his third recording of Declan Carroll sat there in his stand, giving it a bad shuffle.
Quality. Right. Bunbury Cup action. Obviously, Andy also agreed with me that there's no pace on. Any thoughts on the Bunbury Cup, chaps?
There's one other one there down the set that might just working down the centre, which might be interesting at a big price. Is our old friend Cruyff Turn. Just a sort of race that
will go handy.
Who's not been in too bad a form of late. It might just turn up in, and he's just versatile. I'm gonna throw a couple of quid at Cruyff Turn, but
the biggest problem there though, you've got 6 days off and 2% Tom Allen.
Yeah.
Well,
how many Abbeys have you won, John?
Nearly as many as Tom.
Yeah. But apart from that, the fact that the race had no pace, I'd just be avoiding those drawn on that far side unless he's done something funny with the watering. I'd avoid him. I'd rather be middle to low. And the one that stood out was Ross Collin because he's tactically versatile, and Cruyff Turn as a real just a dart, I think I'd probably call it. But to be honest with you, the race looked a little bit lacked appeal.
Yeah, can kind of get that. Quentin, your views?
No, I was with you. No pace in the race. Ross Collin, there's absolutely no chance they drop it out. They are clued up, the Dixon brothers, so they're going to try and bounce him out. Softer ground would probably suit, but O'Meara's in better nick than he's been in all year. It kind of looked like just let's give him a spin and then come here. There's not much not to like, to be honest. Double figures. Do you know what? Fair.
Yeah, they've even stuck the right jockey on, the Doiler. You know, the Doiler's not there to just stiff it out the back. The Doiler's there to ping it out the lids and go, gadget, go. So that's what I expect from Ross Collin leading the field tomorrow. Okay, we move on to the July Cup. John's.
Before you move on, I think it's worth mentioning the fact that the two cups tomorrow, the Bunbury and the Magnet, you've got the shagging shirt with the favourite in both. And he could end up tomorrow night as being the only person in the country with cups on his sideboard that are worth more than what Richie Sunak's missus brings out for the press.
They had biscuits as well, didn't they?
They had a little bowl of nuts.
Oh, did they?
As well, for health.
Oh, biscuits. No chocolate hobnobs.
Mm.
Yeah, they really looked after people, which they haven't done for 3 years. So.
Good stuff. July Cup time, and John's obviously split staked his bets. I'm all over Perfect Power. So I'll leave this to Quentin and Andy to give us their thoughts.
Quentin, do you want to go first?
Yeah, I had a nice. I sat there in the middle of the week. I've received a message through you guys regarding romantic proposal. He said I've had the old nod, wink, wink for this. I thought 16-1. I'll leave it for a few days, make sure she's declared, etc. And now it's 8-1. So that ship has sailed, but she's working the house down by all accounts. It's the Australian horse for me. I know you couldn't have it at any price, Lee, but she's drawn wide, but I don't mind it. It's 12. You know what they're going to do with it. They're going to drop it out. Pace to suit. I think it's drifted to a backable price now at 11-2, 5-1. Shade over what I would have it. I didn't particularly like Perfect Power, like the umming and ahhing about where to go and do they go to France, do they go here. Yeah, that's the Australian horse Arturus for me.
No, I take your Krona. Yes, I tomorrow, Quentin, I take your Krona. We put it on the exchange. I take your Krona tomorrow, Quentin.
We shall do.
we clash swords in the July Cup.
Just can't. Give me the. I'll take the commission. Give me the bet. I'll take the commission. I'll be back there. There you go. Sort that one out, isn't it?
Quentin will just message me and say right, what we doing on this? He'll probably come up with some kind of match bet that he wants. But anyway,
2%. I'll be fine. There you go. Thanks very much. In fact, I'll do it for 1.5. There you go.
Yeah. Quentin's shrewder than me, so I've publicly stated that Artorius will not be winning the July Cup, and Quentin likes it. So there we go. This is pink and blue button action. Here we go. So onwards to the rest of.
Hold up there.
Oh, sorry, I've got
a mad one here. That I'm gonna throw a few quid at Blackrod tomorrow. Not because not for the fact that I live there in the place called Blackrod, because it's owned by David Armstrong, who is a local businessman. But he's won the July Cup before, and he Never So Bold. Mason won it. About 12 months ago, this thing won the 3-year-old handicap over course and distance at the July meeting. He'll be up with the pace. I just think he's got a bit. Those extended places jobs. I just think he's one of those that might just sneak in the old frame tomorrow. I'm going to throw a few quid at Blackrod because I just think he might just a few of these might just be a little bit overrated. I'm not a fan of the Australian horse either. Perfect Power, they've ummed and ahed a bit, haven't they? Creative Force, I quite like, but I think he's a staying 6 furlong horse. Native Crown to me is drawn too high. I do like Romantic Proposal, but the price might have gone on that. And the fact is that she's a hold-up horse as well. And I'm just not keen on hold-up horses at the July course. So I'm going to have a few quid on Blackrod at a mad price. He's 70 on Betfair at the moment. The horse owes nothing this year. I'm just going to, and there's obviously the extended places as well that if you can get on with any bookmakers. But I'm just going to have a few mad quid on it. I just think he's just, he's stepping up from handicaps into Group 1, but we've seen it done before. Michael Dodds, good trainer of sprinters, isn't he? Yeah. There's not an awful lot of pace in this. He gets rolling off the front end. Could just be one of those that, a silly one, but sometimes you have to have a bit of a dart at things, and he just appeals.
Kevin Ryan will be sat in his mansion at the top of that hill at Thirst tonight, cracking one off, because Isos is the only fucker we haven't mentioned in the July Cup.
Well,
there you go.
There we go. Right, let's move on to Pickle Pork, where we are going to look at 2 races there that catch our eyes, which are the John Smith's Cup, obviously one of the major handicaps of the season. £200,000 guaranteed. A great effort from you. I mean, 103,000 for the winner. I think this is like really good stuff. We talk about prize winning in the sport, and £200,000 on offer for a handicap these days is better than most festival handicaps that you'll see. I would imagine. At big meetings. And kudos to York for doing this. Marajan Henserfield at 6-1. Quentin likes Caradoc. I like Caradoc. Only thing that worries me about Caradoc is the start. I know I hate falling for stats really sometimes, but 2 from 109 are 6-year-olds plus in this. As if like the old legs have said, no. It's like Mike Gattin walking out into the crease, when he's 39 years old and he can't see the ball. And you just wonder if that's a factor in this. I did like Andy's Bet Brilliant Light. I thought that was a very eye-catching run at Ascot. He made very good points. John, you've gone for one in this, haven't you? Just fine.
Yeah,
it's fine.
Yeah. So it's literally left to me. So yeah. I mean, I'm thinking I probably like Andy's selection best in terms of what he said about the draw and stuff, and I do think that's an horse definitely going forwards. So, but Caradoc, I'll have some on Caradoc as well. But that stat is what do we make of that stat? Is that something that we just ignore? So 6-year-olds plus in the Magnet Cup, 2 from 109 since 1997.
I have got a shock. I did notice that they did have the older horses had a shocking record, didn't they?
Yeah.
Horses, in fact, if you look at York 10 furlong handicap since 2006, those drawn 18 or more have got a shocking record as well. I think they're 1 from 72, which is not great. Yeah,
I mean, Quentin,
six or older, Lee, or older than 6.
Yeah, 6 or older.
Well, it was a 1-2 for the 6-year-olds last year, so that'll do for me.
Real brilliant.
Yeah, Johnny Drama won it last year.
Yeah,
what a
by
return.
Cockalorum.
There we go. You see, so that's it. This is where stats. So that must have been it then. That must have been the stat breaker. In fact, I might have mentioned it on a show because I'm like that. I'll say, look at this. This is 0 from 105 or something, and sound clever. And then you get the old 1-2 in a reverse forecast. I mean, that sounds like me. That does sound like me at the moment. So, Quentin, but yes, I am a Caradoc fan because if you watch his races this season, you will also like Caradoc. So yeah, I like the selections going forward in that. Okay, then I want to go quickly then to the City Wall Stakes over 5 furlongs because amazingly the Nunthorpe winner sits at bottle and half, 5-2 the field. What are we saying here, chaps?
Monster price.
Oh, Quentin loves this.
I was going to put her up as one of the best bets, but yeah, you've got reasons for. She was dead in the market on seasonal debut. She needed it. Ascot's not her bag. York's her bag. We know that. She put up monster figures here. You got Royal Acclaim, which is priced like it's a group horse, but beat nothing at Bath in a modest enough time. The Newcastle form, it beat Perfect Power, Furby, and something else decent in that race, which is fine, but it's priced like it's already at that level. You're getting 5-2. If she's gone, she's gone, but 5-2, I'm happy to punt her quite strongly and say she's not gone and she's just needed the first 2 starts and they're getting her ready for this. I wouldn't be laying anything above 13-8.
I don't like that stall 1 for Royal Acclaim either. I don't like stall 1 over the straight course at York. They all seem to get very isolated over there for some reason.
Yeah,
especially even more so after just 2 starts. I'd say you still. Yeah, she's won a Bath novice against
Trees.
She's 17 odd rate. Yeah, essentially Trees. She's 3-1. It just looks very, very short. You got Cork who tends to miss the beat. You don't want to be doing that. York City Walk's more of an all-weather horse. Couture fine, but I think needs 6 to be honest, and the rest are like high-end handicappers. And then you got Mondamage. You can't go a show without mentioning him. But no,
Mondamage's weekly run, John.
Well, I think you made it because he had done for 14 days.
It's incredible. I mean, Mondamage, since Anthony's got him, I mean, geez. I mean, it's amazing. It literally is amazing. The lad runs him every other week. But, yeah. I mean, sorry to interrupt you, Quentin, but right, I'm going to come about Winter Power now, and I want everyone to watch back Ascot. I want everyone to go on the whatever replays you use at the races or Racing Post. Just watch back Ascot with Winter Power. She does concern me, and I'll tell you why. Because yes, Ascot's not a track. I totally agree with what Quentin said. Quentin's made perfect arguments. We know she's likely to produce a strong figure at York, but she was beat before the 2-pole at Ascot. And Arecibo that was on the same. They were separate from the main pack. Arecibo just sluiced past her, like just after the 2-pole. And on the back of that, I don't know if she's in any nick at the moment. I don't know if Tim's got this master plan to bring her back to peak for a Nunthorpe, and you might see a big run here, and maybe a big run without winning, maybe, or she might just win and scramble and whatever. But I'd just be. I sort of see both sides of it. The price is massive, isn't it? 5-2 for a Nunthorpe that loves this track. If she's back to her best, she's probably a 1-2 chance. So there's a risk and reward factor here for punters to decide. But if I'll bet you £1 to a penny. If you watch the Ascot run closely, you'll be thinking, well, Arecibo was on the same side and has tanked her by. She's just run absolutely to nothing. Thoughts?
I'd probably just stay out of the race because there's just too many input. I take on board both the arguments, but at 5-2, it's not really my sort of price anyhow. I mean, there's pros and cons. I think in the end, I'd probably just rather sit on my hands and watch. If somebody said to me, "What you've literally got to have a bet," then I'd probably back her because she's the last 3 times she's run here, she's won. So it is her track, and Ascot isn't. And the stable are in immeasurably better form now than they were even over Royal Ascot, certainly of late.
Yeah, and we know what
Tim all to the party.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Like if I said I'll give you 4-1, then
yeah. Well, when do you back exactly? This is the equation. And this is why I respect Quentin's points, because like five, you'll get people after timing on Twitter if this wins at 5-2 and points in it, because Nunthorpe winner at 5-2. Are you all mugs? What are you doing? I mean, you know what kind of person are going to come. But that's the thing. That's the quandary. Watch Ascot, and then do you want to take 5-2? That's the issue. But it could be a wily old Tim. Tim might have just still left a short at Ascot. No intention of winning at Ascot whatsoever. Just running there. King Power owners all turn out with more badges for the families. This and the other. It could just be a case of Tim knows what he's doing. He's getting her ready for another Nunthorpe tilt. John.
I think while this race is on, there's a fair chance I'll still be sticking pins in my John Warren doll. I don't think way having a bet in that.
Will you be laid on your psychiatrist couch for that race?
Definitely, I think, yeah. Cold flannel applied to various areas.
I can just imagine John lying on his psychiatrist couch in his velvet smoking jacket.
Yes,
That's
how I see it.
With a tray of pate and crackers and maybe a gin.
That's how I see him Saturday afternoons, and he's got his mobile in one hand, and he's tweeting expletives at Channel 4's presented team
with a Yates style cravat.
Yeah, that's right.
ITV's even, not Channel 4. That's how old I am. Anyway, last preview, 3:35 Ascot, which is the Fred Cowley Memorial Summer Mile Group 2 affair. Nice race, this. Nice shape to it. Like lots of fancies. I felt that Chindit, if Chindit turns up and doesn't pull too hard, I think that's the key to the race. If Chindit settles nicely, sort of towards the front end or whatever they're going to decide to do, I thought it was Chindit's race to lose. But my Oberon, also a very quirky performer, but tends to get his head down right on the line. Might be a memorable day for the shirt. Thoughts on this race, chaps?
We don't like Pat Dobbs, do we?
Not really, no. If I can help it.
That's the thing, isn't it?
Yeah. I think that's it. I think you know Super Saturday. We said it at the start of the show. The jockeys are spread so thin, lad, that you kind of forget.
Yeah, Turner can have a win.
Oh. Yeah. I mean, Pat Dobbs does ride this horse, but I mean, to be fair though, I think the runs behind Baid, you know, obviously take Baid out of it, but still, it's such strong form. When he was third to Baid in the Lockinge, alcohol free behind, he was a length and 3/4 behind Real World. It's good stuff, really. You know, Modern News, Mutasabek. My Oberon is a good horse. He's just very quirky. That's the problem if you're backing My Oberon. And whether that's going to suit on really fast ground tomorrow, being quirky and messing about, we don't know. But Holly's husband rides John, My Oberon.
Yeah. Did you not think Tactical looked a bit resurgent last time, and would probably benefit from the man?
I do, but not at this level.
I know it's a bit of a stretch. I know that. I just think there's like bits and pieces of form that, you know, if you dig a bit deeper and a bit further back, you can maybe think, well, he's got to run some sort of race.
John, it's the Queen's sour line. The sour. They're all sour.
No sour. I mean, God. You know, if you look for a genuine line from the Queen, fucking hell, you wait longer than she's not left.
Andy, Quentin, any thoughts on this?
I did actually have a look at Tactical because I marked that one down as being better than its run last time out, but it's a bit of a step up into this company. I think the shirt's got a good chart. I think I quite like My Oberon actually at the prices. I don't like Chindit particularly.
I know what you're going to. I know what you're going to do. You're going to put some bigger prices in the machine for this, aren't you? Mm-hmm. My Oberon. When he comes off it, sort of 2 out, and he's messing around. Yeah. I can see you just asking for some.
I think I might be having a shirt multiple tomorrow as well. I think it might be the old shirt. How many runs has he got tomorrow? 3. He's got 6. 6 tomorrow. So the shirt could be out tomorrow night. No, I think My Oberon. I mean, you'd say the horse is quirky. He's won 3 out of 4 this year.
Oh no!
He was in a group. He ran a Dubai Group 1, didn't he? Where but I think he ran pretty well right most recently. Finished strongly to beat Deny Modern News. Okay, I don't think he's that quirky. I think he's a bit, if anything, he's a little bit overpriced here at sort of 5 to 1, something like that. I take your point about that. I might throw a couple of quid at Tactical, but just because the race could end up a complete and utter mess. And I thought Tactical ran quite a decent race last time out. Not in this sort of grade, but interesting that they throw that one in here. But again, it's not a race to go that mad about on. What is it? Some people call it Super Saturday. I call it Saturation Saturday.
Yeah, indeed. Quentin, to finish the show off, have you any view?
Not a strong view, to be honest. Tactical did catch the eye last time out, more towards the centre of the stand side, but probably outclassed. But can you really grab something at 16 to 1? There's no pace in the race. You'd like to think their best chance of kind of getting the trip would be going forward on it. I know he tried a mile before, but he's by Toronado. That was on good to soft ground. It's not really bred for that. My Oberon, you've kind of got the angled early. You're probably off backing it when it comes off the bridle. We find some pressure. I'm not going to have a bet in it. There's better things to bet on tomorrow. There's no pace in the race. So maybe if you see Chindit settle, then maybe you're best off taking 7 to 4 in the run or something like that.
Yeah. No, I agree. That's the. I hope punters have enjoyed this show because there's been some great chat, some good stats, some interesting discussion from the 4 of us. So we hope you enjoyed it. We're back on Sunday for more bollocks and chin wagging, and the Sunday sermon. Me, John, and Chris. So hopefully you'll join us for that. So hopefully you'll back some winners this weekend. That's all from me, Andy, Quentin, and John. Bye for now.